Moin. This is of northern Germany, that girl who is an asylum seeker, that girl who has depression, that girl who has a lot of mental issues, and who is writing, etc, etc, etc. Welcome to this channel, and today what I'm going to talk about is not the happiest topic, as you can see from the description of the video, from the headline of the video. Unfortunately, almost 10 days ago, well, it's actually already 10 days ago, since Alexey Navalny, the biggest opposition leader in Russia, died. And yeah, I'm Russian, as you have already known, possibly. I repeat it once again, I'm Russian and I support opposition, and I probably don't have words to describe how much Alexey Navalny meant to me and to people who are like me, people who were forced to flee from their home country, people who believed in this wonderful Russia of the future. Yeah, it's unfortunately utopia, and the thing is, I spent the past week, it's almost 2 weeks, it's crazy, in hell, because first we got the news, and there were protests. I was trying to hold myself, I was trying to join the protests, not to feel alone, and also I had to work, I had to do my writing, because I am participating in a writing contest right now. And yeah, in general I had a lot of things to do. And plus, Vladimir Putin refused to give Alexey Navalny's body to his mother, and yeah, a lot of shit was going on during these weeks. Finally, it calmed down a bit. The body is given back to Alexey's mother, as it is supposed to be, and yeah, and I am left with my depression, which was a bit back, and I want to share a bit of thoughts that I came up to during this period, and I will also refer to Saturday, because since Saturday I feel a bit better, and I will show you a bit my recovery process from depression. And here there will be a bit of a disclaimer or warning for people who also suffer from depression. I want to note that I'm currently in therapy, and I'm in therapy every week. And also I'm taking antidepressants, so I'm getting medical help. Unfortunately, from my experience, I know that it's very hard to get out of serious conditions, to get rid of serious depression if you don't get help. Yeah, I really hope that my video will help you, but please seek help. I know that it's not always possible, but I hope that I will also motivate you to get help if you are afraid of taking medicine, or if you're afraid of trying therapy, because that's the real key, that's the key of your well-being. And I'm capable of making this video, I'm capable of sitting here with makeup and looking decent only thanks to therapy and pills that I'm taking. That's sad, but that's true. and you shouldn't be afraid of that, because the main thing is to stabilize yourself. Today I'm going to be filming weird places because today I just feel like that. And yeah, I suggest starting with a journal. Of course, it always starts with a journal. And don't kill me, please, but I do believe that journaling helps because emotions, especially bad emotions, belong out of your system, not inside. Not like eating you and piling up until you're going to attack someone who you really love. So yeah, that's why I'm journaling. It's my kind of new friend, and my tip to convince yourself to journal, not to give up. I bought lots of pens that are colorful. I also have those with sparkles, and they even smell like in childhood. Yeah, I've just graduated from the kindergarten, and what would you do to me? You didn't do anything. You wouldn't hurt me more than my home country did. So yeah, and yeah, I'm relying on to my journal when I'm having a bad day. And for myself, I divided my own tips for my depression into 4 categories. The first one is about the things that do help very well, that you should persist on doing. The second group, those are the things that actually cause more damage, and we maybe don't think about that, or sometimes we have some toxic patterns in our brain and we don't really notice. I will explain what it is. And the third thing, those are the things that are extremely hard to do when you have depression. Those are basic things. But to my conclusion, if you skip them during the day, you will regret much more if you force yourself a bit and do them. I'll also explain that. And the fourth thing, those are the things about which I haven't made up my mind yet. First of all, before we start with pass to the tips, I maybe have to mention what my symptoms are. And depression varies, and all kinds of depression are different, and there is no approach that fits everyone. But yeah, unfortunately every person has to search for their own ideas of recovery. Don't forget about medical help too. My case, I have quite a severe depression. I'm losing my will to live as soon as depression hits. So that's quite serious. And if you have the same problem, please run to a psychiatrist. Really run, because your life is very important. And it's hard for me to function, but at the same time I'm sometimes manic a bit, and I work frantically. I might write a big article and then the next day I'm dead because I am mentally exhausted. So I spend a lot of time in bed staring at the ceiling. I also tend to close myself in 4 walls. It's also not very good. And I tend to struggle to do basic things, as I had already mentioned in the previous videos. And my new feature, I'm not really sure I'm happy about that, but when I was a child, I wasn't capable of sleeping during the day. I was always told off in my nursery and kindergarten because I wasn't able to sleep. I remember my father was shouting at me because I didn't want to sleep. And now, for the past week, I was probably so tired, so worn out that I spent a lot of hours sleeping. And yeah, I think it's rather bad because I don't feel good after I sleep during the day. So yeah, those are my basic symptoms. I don't tend to procrastinate in general, only when I'm exhausted. I tend to have this proactive depression when I'm trying to do as much as possible, and then I'm dead. Then I'm alive, and then I'm dead again. So let's start then with the things that do help. The first thing that I want to note is that you need to move. If you want to move, you need to get up from your bed, but slowly, and you need to do things that are small, that are doable, and that are possible, and the things that you're capable of. Usually I start my recovery from picking up something from the floor, because sometimes when I'm depressed I can drop things on the floor, and slowly I just crawl around the room like a snail and collect things, put them on places. Yeah, but you're free to drop everything and return to it later, because yeah, it's also one of the most important things, that you can do almost everything that you feel like doing, something that is not forced, but you don't need to overdo that, and also to be angry with yourself if you're not capable of doing something, because yeah, depression is sucking your energy, and I already mentioned it in the previous video. I will maybe link it somewhere, where I was talking about books, hobbies, and depression. After depression, it's sometimes hard to return to the same tempo, to the same hobbies, to be the same person. So please keep it in mind. Don't be harsh with yourself, and don't forget that. And yeah, if you put up some goals for yourself, they should be realistic, because yeah, maybe it sounds obvious, but realistic goals for a healthy person and realistic goals for a depressed person, those are different things. And don't forget about that too, please. And your pace, well, at least my pace when I'm talking about myself, my pace when I'm trying to recover from depression should be very slow, snail-like. I need to get up slowly, drink my tea, and eat, and don't eat a lot if you don't feel like it, but please feed yourself. I know it's difficult. It's very difficult to feed yourself if you live alone. On Saturday I was alone, so I had to feed myself. And in this case, it's also very important to maybe make a bit of an effort and to try to eat something that is as healthy as possible. We are trying to feed ourselves as healthy as possible, or impossible. And here I have paella from Lidl, the frozen one. I would say, okay, 4 out of 10. I just wanted to eat some paella. It's quite expensive, And if you want to make it yourself, it's very energy consuming and time consuming. But as I'm trying to make myself better, to make myself feel better, I decided to buy something healthier than frozen pizzas. These German frozen pizzas, I adore them. They are amazing. At this moment, my Italian friend Sarah is entering with a huge shovel for pizzas and hits me. Hi Sarah. But I also treated myself to cider, and my dessert is a chocolate chicken, and I have a real candle here, and it has just died. Well, that's life. I went to Lidl on Saturday and I bought some paella. It was frozen. It's not the top, not the top of the healthiest things in the world, but I believe it's still better than pizza. And I think you will. It's also like about regrets. I'm going to speak about regrets too. Better to think about it, because well-balanced meals are sometimes underrated when you have depression, because it can change your condition drastically. Also, I encourage you to share your feelings, to speak out, because I'm being able to speak right now only because I was very persistent and I was very kind of annoying maybe, and I repeated again and again that I felt very bad, that I hadn't remembered when I was mentally stable last time. And I also repeated that I needed help, and when you ask for help, usually you get it, because people don't know what is going on in your head. Many people have no idea what depression is. They never faced it. They never had their loved ones who had depression and other more serious conditions. So if you don't speak, if you don't share with your friends or your loved ones, they cannot really help you. One more thing is that if you feel like you need rest, and if you feel like you're falling asleep, you don't have energy to move, also maybe don't press yourself. Maybe you need this rest, because our body is not our enemy, and it's also trying to help you, maybe sometimes in weirdish ways, but just don't forget that. Don't hate your body because it just puts you into bed. You know what I mean? And maybe I will be passing over to the things that you might regret about if you don't do them. Most of them are basic things, and they are unbelievably difficult, and it's very hard to make yourself do them when you're depressed. Again, I'm talking about taking a shower, brushing your teeth, etc. Doing yoga. I'm also talking about yoga. Those are the things which, if you do, and if you force yourself a bit to do them, maybe not a lot, maybe just to start, to try a bit, to move a bit, you will probably be recharged. And if you don't do them, you will be regretting, you will be angry with yourself again. Don't do that. Yeah, it just happens. You will be thinking, oh, what if I just did it and now I'm dirty and now everything hurts because I didn't do my yoga. I don't know, I didn't brush my teeth, now I feel disgusting. Yeah, it feels like an effort, like impossible effort, but try just not to think about it, just like get up and do it, because probably your mental condition and your brain and your body will say thank you, and you will say thank you to yourself that you did it. Not all at once, not like wash everything that is possible, do all yoga videos, and yeah, I will advertise a bit yoga with Adrienne that I do. She's amazing. She has a doggy to look at while you're doing your yoga, and she is gentle, she's so smooth, she doesn't make you jump, because like, with all my respect to Chloe Ting, she is not a depression friendly coach, yeah. So let's do something small and gentle, and something that we can feel good after, and something that you want to return to, because also if you push yourself to do these crazy jumpy workouts, the chance that you'll be able to repeat, to perform this again the next day, so tiny. Yeah, so those are the things that you need to keep in mind, that they're so complicated as they look, but maybe you do this small step and then you will feel better, and then even maybe you will want to do something else, who knows, something even more difficult. If no, well, no, it's also fine. And also the next group of things, those are the things that do much more harm. And one of these things is punishing myself, yourself, ourselves, being pissed, being harsh, forcing yourself to do something, even if you have no capacity, no energy to do that. And that may lead to it may lead to aggravating your condition, because we are trying to help ourselves, right? We are trying not to dig a grave for ourselves, but we are trying to pull ourselves with our hair out of this condition, because it's very easy to spiral into this condition, but to get out of it, that's quite a challenge, I would say. I realized that for me, what doesn't help, lying in bed doesn't bring any improvement to me. Yeah, maybe there is a day when it's better to stay in bed for a day or so, but after, yeah, it's better to at least, I usually walk around the house like back and forth, until I'm tired, then I lie again, then I get up. And yeah, also closing up in the room, as I tend to do sometimes, is not really helping either, because I have this feeling of being trapped that I cannot get out, as the roots of it are going back to Russia. But yeah, if I'm closed in four walls, I'm like, I'm going insane. My experience, I don't know if I will be able to be as productive. I'm not even sure I want to be as productive as I used to be, but possibly it's unrealistic. And now I have to be like a granny, and I need to walk slowly and take care of what I'm eating, what I'm doing, what I'm watching, like, you know, scrolling and checking the news don't help either, unfortunately. But yeah, it depends what you're watching, because sometimes my Instagram blesses me with videos with different dogs and cats and funny videos, or with other animals, and yeah, that recharges me, but also it's better not to overdo. Yeah, and finally, we pass over to the things that I didn't make my mind yet, and those are the things about calming music. It's very hard for me to figure it out. Well, I figured it out that I am a big fan of the guy that is on the wall. I think you saw him. His name is Vyacheslav Butусов, and he also made an impact on the Russian musical industry, chthon-wise, because what is Russian chthon, I had explained in the previous video. It's something very heavy, something very depressive, and also other musical masterpieces of Russian music. I understand that they're not healthy for me, especially if I'm very badly depressed. But what does help me, and if music helps me, I still cannot figure it out. I found one playlist. It's called Calming Music for Dogs. So now I'm a dog, possibly. And this playlist I enjoyed. I found it yesterday. And also walks. I still cannot figure it out what kind of walks I need to be healthy, because a long walk, like, as my friends sometimes tell me, just go for a walk for 1.5 hours and your depression will go away. No, it doesn't happen. Maybe for someone it does happen. I envy you. If you just walk and walk together with the dog sometimes, or alone, and if after that you feel so on top of the world, I really envy you, because I really struggle with walks. They take a lot of energy, especially if I have to think that I am going far. And it's also a challenge for me to go on a walk without a point and aim. Oh, what is this? The blue sky. Maybe not entirely blue. Whatever. I'm walking, proud of myself. So I can go to the shop and walk to the shop, or to the train station, I can walk to the train station. And yeah, this I cannot figure it out. I know that for my friends who also suffer from depression, it's good for them just to get out of the house and go straight into the woods and walk until they're exhausted. For me, it doesn't work like this, unfortunately. I'm trying not to go too far in this case, or sometimes I am opening the window and with my head I'm just trying to catch some fresh air. That's unhealthy, but yeah, it is what it is. It's also something to figure out in the future. Yes, what I want to say in the end and in the conclusion, if you, like me, relapsed, it's absolutely normal. And yeah, it's very upsetting, very discouraging sometimes, but it happens. And you need to treat yourself with kindness. I'm also learning this because, yeah, I used to perform various tricks to my mental health, and I forced myself to work a lot. I remember days when I was still a teacher. I had very bad breakdowns, and then I use some eye drops into my eyes, and with red eyes I went to work. Well, if you can avoid that, don't do that, because there is nothing that is more important, more crucial than your mental health. And yeah, be gentle with yourself. And I've also tried to be gentle to myself, because I'm still learning. And I'm very happy if it helped someone, at least not even tips, but maybe someone who's in depression watched it and thought like, okay, now I will try to help myself. And yeah, I wish you a wonderful rest of the day. Russia will be free, and yeah, we'll never forget the death of Alexey Navalny and the war in Ukraine that had started 2 years ago. Can you imagine that? And on this channel I will be wishing you love, and peace from Anna of Northern Germany. And if you want to read some politics, well, it will be in the description. Tschüss!